Hello and welcome to another Java programming video. In this video I'm going to introduce you to threads and runnables. Basically this will allow you to split up your code and make different parts of your code run simultaneously. For example, at the moment your code and your program has only been able to run from the top to the bottom, etc. And you have not been able to run your program at different places in the same time. So I'm going to show you a way on how you can do that by introducing you to two different classes. And I'm going to show you a way to do that, and I'm going to use two examples for it. At the moment I have created a method that simply prints out, that is simply two for loops and prints out the current number. As you can see, the result is 0, 1, 2, 3 to 9, and then it starts over because it goes into the other loop. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and create a new class. And we're going to name it Runnable example, and it is going to implement the class Runnable. Implements Runnable, and the Runnable object will make, and by implementing the Runnable we will make sure that we can run this Runnable inside another thread. Alright, then we just need to add unimplemented methods, which is a run method. Like this, remove that, there we go. And basically the run method will be called from a different thread, and basically whatever we put inside of our run method will be the part of the code that we want to run in a separate thread. So I'm going to start by initializing some variables. First int number, and we're going to set it to 0, and then a boolean called running, which we're going to set to true. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up a while loop. As long as running is true, we're going to loop through our runnable, and every time we're going to make sure that there is some kind of delay, and we want this delay to be like, let's say, half a second. And you can create a delay by typing out thread.sleep and 500. It is a millisecond, so 500 is half a second. And then we need to surround it with a try and catch with the interrupted exception statement. Pretty simple, pretty much like we did in the last video. And every time we go through the loop we're going to print out the current number like this and increase it by 1. Now we have created our runnable, and I'm going to show you how we can actually run the code inside of it. You need to run a runnable from a thread object, and the way you can do that is by creating a new thread like this, and then inside of the constructor or the argument you type out the runnable object. For example, we're just going to create a new runnable example inside of it. And then you can just go ahead and type out start beside of it. Pretty much like this, and you will be able to see that it runs. Let's just wait a minute. There we go. And I'm going to pull up the console, and you can see that it runs like half a second. It updates with a new number, so it works like exactly like it should. And now I'm going to create another instance of another object, and you can see that they run at the same time. They both update at the same time. Alright, I'm going to show you how we can actually stop your runnable and make it stop repeating itself. So let's just comment away our first thread, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a variable for our thread called thread_var or something like that. I'm going to remove the start part, and below of it I'm going to type out thread.start in order to start our thread. And now it's going to run just like it did before. As you can see, I'm going to close it. But I'm going to put a delay for around 2 seconds, and after 2 seconds our goal is to shut down the thread. Just going to type a surround statement, and then we're going to type out thread_var.interrupt. And what this will do is that it will throw an exception that we catch inside of our run method. As you can see below here, we have an interrupted exception, and that is exactly the exception that we will throw. So after 2 seconds we will get a red text saying interrupted exception, blah blah blah. But the counter still goes on, and that is because running is still true. So whenever we catch the exception, we want to change running to false, so it stops counting. And print stack trace prints out information about the exception, and we don't want anything about that, so we're just going to remove it. And now we can see that it will stop after 3, and we won't get an exception, it will just stop. And that's exactly what we want. We're going to create another class, and we're going to name this a private thread example, and this will be our own thread that we create. And it is going to extend a thread, so it inherits its properties and variables. So something like this. And now we need to override the run method like we did in our Runnable class. And the method is going to look exactly the same like our Runnable, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy that part of the code. And I'm going to do this, so our third method runs. And a way that you can create a thread is, and an example of how we can create this thread is typing out new thread example dot start, and that's pretty much all you need. And it should run, yeah, as you can see. And in order to interrupt it, we just do the same like we did before. We assign a variable to our thread. It doesn't even have to be of the type thread example, it can just be a thread. Let's call it thread var equals to new thread example. Remove this part of the code. It's going to, yeah, and then type out thread.sleep. After 2 seconds we will interrupt it. Thread var.interrupt, and surround it with try and catch statement, and let's try. What happened? Oh right, I forgot to run the thread, my bad. So thread var.start, and now it should work. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yep, terminated. So basically that is how thread works. In order to run a Runnable, you have to run it from a separate thread, but if you create a thread of your own, you can just run it by creating an instance of it and call the start method. So that was pretty much all for this video. Thank you a lot for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and give the videos a thumbs up. It would really help a lot. And maybe even share them to your friends if they are interested in Java programming. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.